All right, welcome everyone to Feel Good Friday. This is the MJKO show, where we share with you guys some good news from all over the world to hopefully show you that there's still a lot of good things happening during this pandemic. All right. Okay. So before we get into any of the news, please consider donating to MJKO. You can go to mjko.ca and there'll be the red donate button in the top right. You just click that, takes you to the donation page. All right, I'm your host, Jimmy, and we'll get started with the news. All right, so first one out of Texas. All right, this county in Texas says it will arrest people who test positive for COVID and don't self quarantine. All right, let's take a look. So, Brooke County is adopting a tough posture in dealing with those who test positive for the virus but refuse to self quarantine. Brooks County Attorney Dave Garcia said anyone found doing that could be arrested. Interesting development. I know they were, when they had lockdowns in Italy and Spain, they were arresting people, but I don't know what came out of it. Our next story from a nurse, all right. Headline reads, "Please tell me my life is worth a little of your discomfort, nurse, please." All right. So, healthcare workers on the front lines of COVID crisis have spent exhausting months working and self-quarantining off duty to keep from infecting others, including their families. Encountering people who indignantly refuse face coverings can feel like a slap in the face. I feel you, nurse. I feel you. A lot of people they don't want to wear masks just because they don't feel like it, right? But hopefully everyone gets on board. You know, for a lot of nurses and healthcare professionals, it's as real as it gets, right? For us, just regular folk, we never see it. We might not even know someone who has it. So, there's a little bit of, seeing is believing, as they say. So, a lot of people who don't want to wear it, they just don't feel like it or they don't think it's that bad. Clearly, they've never visited a hospital. All right, next story from Harvard. Hopefully, everyone knows Harvard, right? The world renowned university, okay? They announced all classes in 2020 and 2021 academic year will be held online. All right, so on campus living will be limited due to COVID 19, with outsiders to be barred from campus buildings. Interesting. How do the people on campus, they're still going to be paying rent? I mean, at that point, I would just, pack up, go home, and just go to class, online class from home, save the rent. Anyways, let's take a read. Harvard's university freshmen will be invited to live on campus this fall, while most other undergrads will be required to learn remotely from home, the Ivy League school announced Monday. Okay, so the officials decided to allow only 40% of undergraduates on campus. Okay, I see. That's interesting. So, reduced number of students. All right, this next story from the States. Duolingo CEO. All right, so if anyone doesn't know what Duolingo is, it is the free online website that helps people learn new languages. All right. So Duolingo CEO says Trump immigration policies could force him to move jobs to Canada. Very good news for Canada, not so good news for the States, if it is true. All right, next story from Uber. All right, everyone knows Uber, the ride-sharing app. So Uber gets into grocery delivery business in Canada. So Toronto and Montreal will be test cases for new service from ride-hailing giant. All right, so Uber Technologies Inc. is getting grocery delivery service in Canadian cities to help launch the revenue. Interesting. Help launch the venture. Okay, interesting. A very interesting development. Hopefully they don't charge their insane fees like they do on their Uber Eats. But I can see it being useful in some cases. All right, this next story is from, I believe, Quebec. A new airline is launching. Crazy, right? In the middle of the pandemic. So let's take a read. Okay, and a unique travel experience to tropical destinations. Against all odds, a new airline called OWG will soon take off in Quebec, offering flights to southern destinations. This new initiative is the fruit of Nolinor Aviation's continuing expansion into a new market. All right, interesting. Also, I'm, you know, interested to find out how they will do in these uncertain times for airlines. All right, next story. Endangered gorilla in New Orleans, I'm assuming the zoo, is expecting their first baby. All right, let's take a read. One of the critically endangered gorillas in New Orleans Zoo is expecting her first baby and is already being trained with a doll to hold her future offspring. Interesting. 13-year-old Tumani's training doll doesn't look anything like a gorilla because the stuffed toy could easily be torn apart. Okay. Interesting. All right, so there are about 350 of the gorillas are in facilities accredited to the Association of Zoos and Aquariums. The last gorilla born at the uh, Audubon Zoo in Praline, now 24. Interesting. Oh. We always need lots of animals for our biodiversity. All right, next story from the States, CNN. All right, the student collected garbage to pay for college. Now he's headed to Harvard Law. Ooh, another story from Harvard. All right, so a college graduate from Maryland has been admitted to Harvard Law after continued adversity nearly made him abandon school altogether. All right, let's take a read. After graduating high school, financial issues, illness, and major sports injury left 18-year-old Rehan Stanton frustrated and exhausted as he worked to support his brother and father. However, neither his family nor his coworkers at Bates Trucking and Trash Removal Sanitation could watch him give up on himself. Today, Rehan is not only a college graduate, but is headed to Harvard Law School this fall. Very good. Rehan was born and raised in Maryland. Okay, so good for Rehan. All right, this next story from Forbes. All right, so these two young scientists built a $250 million business using yeast to clean waste water. Interesting. Do they have a demonstration? All right, these are some portrait shots of their, assuming, these two young scientists. All right, this is too long to read. I'm usually more of a video type of guy. All right, they don't have a video, but sounds like good news to me. So we'll see how that develops moving forward. Now, this next story. A single dad adopts 13-year-old who was abandoned 2 years earlier at a hospital. Let's take a read. How do you abandon a 13-year-old, or 2 years early, who would be 11? How do you abandon an 11-year-old? Okay, let's see. A 13-year-old boy who was abandoned by his parents has found a forever home. On November 12th, Tony Mutabazi was adopted by a foster dad, Peter Mutabazi, in Charlotte, North Carolina. Tony had been in foster care system since he was age of 2. Okay, that makes sense. And at the age of 4 was adopted by a couple in Oklahoma. No details are known about his birth parents. All right. Very cool. Always heartwarming to see, people adopt, All right. This next story from the States. Uniontown man given a lifesaver award for rescuing police officer from burning vehicle. All right, so instinct overtook panic for Dalen McLee when a Uniontown police officer crashed outside his home on Father's Day. Okay. Good to see everyone wearing masks at the award ceremony. Okay, just as I say that. Very cool to see him get some recognition. Alright, this next story from the Air Force. Alright, the US Air Force. First black man nominated to lead Air Force Academy. Alright, nominated. So that means he's not in the position just yet, right? But hopefully he gets it. It would be a big milestone. All right, so an African American man was nominated for the first time to lead the U.S. Air Force Academy in Colorado Springs. The Air Force announced Tuesday that the president nominated Richard Clark to be the school's next superintendent. Interesting. Hey, what's up, Kuchula? We'll see you tomorrow at the Saturday program. Alright. Next story. Why is my Instagram camera shaking? Oh, there we go. Alright, this next story. Local girl raises funds to donate multicultural crayons to schools. Alright. So, Madison Wilson, a Santa Ynez Valley elementary school student, is raising money to donate multicultural crayons and books to local schools. Okay, so Wilson learned that Crayola will be replacing the 24-pack of multicultural crayons called Colors of the World in July, and asked her mom if she could raise funds to donate these crayons to her school. Wow. These young kids nowadays have more initiative than me when I was a kid. All right. Next story. From Germany. All right. Germany announces a new ban on single-use plastic products. So, single-use plastic straws, food containers, and cotton buds will be prohibited from July 3rd, 2021. Okay, so it's going to take effect next year. All right. So, it gives, I guess, Germany and all the businesses in Germany approximately 1 year exactly to phase out those single-use plastics. So they have 1 year to find alternatives. Very good, step in the right direction. I know last week we talked about the Great Pacific garbage patch, so hopefully we can reduce plastic waste. All right, this next story from England. England has first night out since the lockdown. All right, so this was from July 5th, a few days ago. All right. Hospitality venues such as pubs and restaurants, as well as hairdressers, cinemas, and theme parks reopened with strict social distancing rules. Wow, cinemas and theme parks. Wow. I wonder when we'll get that back open, along with gyms. And hopefully, not too much longer for Ontario. All right. This next story from Cambodia. Cambodia province bans dog meat trade. Why would it not be banned already? But that's besides the problem. This is a good step in the right direction. Oh, look at those cute dogs. All right, so very good, progressive move from Cambodia. All right, this next one from Scotland. Scotland becomes first country in the world to add LGBTQ plus history to school curriculum. Right, so that is very interesting. I think that is a step in the right direction, along with all of the other history we've learned. You know, that is very cool to hear. Our next one from Australia and Japan. They signed a new space deal to discuss deeper security ties. So it's a new space deal. I'm assuming they're gonna work on, you know, space projects together. Okay, so they'll form a space agreement to work together in the final frontier as the two nations look to deepen their defense and security ties. All right. Okay, so between Australian Prime Minister Scott Morrison and Japanese counterpart Shinzo Abe on Thursday, all right, space agencies to develop cooperation in space science research and education. Very cool. You know, hopefully we can, you know, make space travel, you know, more affordable in the future, and hopefully we can colonize and move beyond Earth one day. All right, next story from Taiwan. Taiwan donates 160,000 masks to Canadian missionaries' hometown. All right, let's take a look. Taiwan's McKay Memorial Hospital and New Taipei's city's Tam Sui district office have recently donated 160,000 surgical masks to Oxford County in Canada, in Ontario. So Oxford County in Ontario. Let's see exactly where that is. Okay, so that is there in Ontario, not too far from Toronto. So 160,000 masks going to Oxford County. Very cool. Thank you, Taiwan. Taiwan has been big help, and they've gotten it under control over there. So very cool to see them helping Canada and the rest of the world. All right, so new study. All right, there's been lots of studies. There's over 70 studies at this point. How effective masks are, right? All right, so your own mask can cut your risk by 65%. Very reputable university out of the States. So scientific evidence is clear. Social distancing and wearing masks helps prevent people from spreading COVID-19, and masks also protect those who wear them. To UC Davis. All right. So as I said, there was over 70 scientific research papers at this point pointing to masks are effective. All right. But with that being said, there are two different types of masks, right? Actual surgical masks that they use in hospitals, which are, I would assume, it's super effective, and cloth masks that us regular people are wearing, which I'm not sure if they did any research, but there's over 70 research papers, and it's too much for me to read. So just wear a mask, all right? But good news from UC Davis. Oh, these Justin Trudeau, our boy, all right, Canada handled the coronavirus outbreak better than the United States, Prime Minister Trudeau says. Oh, Prime Minister Justin Trudeau with the flex on the United States, all right? Obviously, the United States is very bad right now, all right? I hope they get it under control soon. But a lot of it has to do with their governance and their lack of governance when it comes to the coronavirus, right? All over the world, the US is looked as the gold standard of how not to handle a pandemic. All right, so very interesting that Prime Minister Justin Trudeau would just come out and say that, but it's very bold of him. That's a straight flex on the United States. All right, so the United States is over 3 million cases, and I read an interesting statistic. All right, the States is already over 130,000 deaths from the coronavirus, right? Nobody's bats an eye. Mind-boggling, right? But more people have died from the coronavirus, which has only been here for the first half of the year. More people have died in the US of the coronavirus than more casualties in World War One. That is absolutely mind-boggling. And World War One took over the course of several years. So hopefully they take it more seriously and get it under control. And but until then, hopefully Justin Trudeau keeps on flexing on them. All right, next story from Tyler Perry, the movie director. Yes, he's a director. It's a little bit sad story, but also a little bit positive. All right, an 8-year-old girl was fatally shot in Atlanta. Our heart goes out to her family, but Tyler Perry is going to pay for her funeral expenses. So good move by Tyler Perry. All right, this next story. Hello, Miranda. From Nigeria. So gorillas in Nigeria, world's rarest ape pictured with babies. All right. So only 300 cross-river gorillas are known to live in the world. Wow. Making them the most endangered subspecies. All right. A number of infant gorillas are visible, taken earlier this year. Interesting. Hopefully they can increase their numbers from 300 and up. Next story from Vietnam. Vietnam sees no new community COVID-19 infections for 84 days. At this point, are they just reporting it every day, like 84 days and then 85? Man, they are really ahead of the curve. Good on Vietnam. All right, next story from, I believe, the States. So, staff at Ocean Grove restaurant received $1,000 tip from longtime customer. Wow. Hopefully, somebody can tip MJKO, am I right? Go to mjko.ca and you can click the donate button. Here's the donation page. All right. So very cool. As you can see, here's the legit row, $1,000 tip. They paid for $43 worth of food and then $1,000 tip. Interesting. All right, this next one. Doggy delivery service helps Colombians shop during the pandemic. All right, we got some pictures here. Can we Make this bigger. Oh, there we go. A dog. Oh. Can we get this service in Canada? Someone set it up. Oh. Alright, brings it right to your door. And then back at the shop. Nice. Seems like it's only one dog. But I will take it. If I ever go to Colombia, I'm gonna find this dog. Alright, next story. Hollywood teen gets surprise visit during one-on-one basketball game. Alright, let's take a look. Alright, these police officers roll up and, play some basketball.
In the midst of what seems like an endless stream of disturbing news, from the rampant virus to violence in our streets, comes a story that reminds us of the true spirit of humanity and how a simple interaction can open hearts and change minds. Arluia Geary reports.
When Rick Brooks turned down the street towards his Hollywood home last Friday evening, he was stunned by what he saw.
Heart drop. My wife's like, oh my God, what's happening?
At first, startled by the sight of two police officers running with 18-year-old Darmel Brooks and his 16-year-old friend Tyquaven Johnson, they quickly realized it was nothing nefarious.
We saw those two kids playing on their basketball court right outside. And we decided, I have basketball sneakers in my car. I told Anthony, which is my partner, throw on some basketball sneakers and see what these kids got.
It was a nice thing for them to just pass by and, just see the guys playing ball and then decide to get a one-on-one game, and it was good. It was good.
Officers John Guzman and Anthony Horta hope the connection helps others see the human behind the badge.
We're all about building, our community relationships here in Hollywood, and it's definitely what we're all about.
I was surprised. I didn't know that it would be that good.
The game only lasted for 20 minutes, with the officers ultimately winning, which means a rematch is in the works. The boys are looking forward to it.
We need a replay. Whoa, the cops got moves.
The game only lasted for 20 minutes, with the officers ultimately winning, which means a rematch is in the works. The boys are looking forward to it, and so are their friends in uniform.
We're going to pass by there and see what they got. We're going to give them a few days to practice. Let's see what happens.
I'm ready.
Oh, this guy is SWAT. You see his hat, it says SWAT, and right here it says SWAT. I didn't know SWAT officers are just patrolling the streets.
I'm sure he is too. Definitely want a rematch.
Those guys have game. Brooks says that he hopes that this is just the start of many more positive interactions between...
Wow, those cops have game indeed. All right, this next story from India. All right, so graduate teachers teaches children in Delhi slum without access to online learning. All right, so here he is teaching students. All right, everyone's wearing masks. That's good to see. He's using a whiteboard. All right, and then they're just cleaning up after themselves. Very cool. All right. That is good to see, Our next story. Masks will be mandatory in York Region. This is Ontario. All right, starting July 17. So that is next Friday. All right, seems like basically everyone in Canada is slowly adopting these measures of mandatory masks. All right, let's see when. So from July 17th till November 30th. Wow, that is longer than Toronto. Toronto is ending in like October. Anyways, Starbucks will require customers to wear face coverings as coronavirus cases surge. All right, so this is the States, all right, Canada, but they're surging in the States. So that is a smart move by Starbucks. All right, so customers at company locations will have to wear face coverings starting July 15th. So that is on Wednesday. So, interesting. Didn't know why they would not have that already, seeing as, the cases in the States are very high. All right, Taiwan marks 91 days without new local coronavirus cases. Interesting. At this point, I feel like Taiwan and Vietnam, they got like no news to report. So then every day they're just like, just report it. No new cases, no new cases. But that's very good. And Taiwan, They helped us out. They sent us a lot of PPE, so good on them. And that is good news from Taiwan. All right, this next story, we're almost done. All right, from Terrence Ross, former Toronto Raptors player. All right, as everyone knows, the NBA season is about to restart at the end of July, and basically all the players are already in Orlando, Florida, at the Disney Resort where the NBA bubble is happening. So here's Terrence Ross. He gives you a little preview of the amenities that they have.
One more sneak peek.
All right, very interesting. All right, so follow up on that. Raptors arrived at the Disney campus in their new Black Lives Matter buses. So as you can see here, they have 3 buses, or two in this picture. They're painted Black Lives Matter. That's interesting. Did they drive all the way there? That's insane. From Toronto to Florida? Wow. But anyways, that is a very cool move. And on the back of the buses, all right, they show the championship Larry O'B trophy. So very good move by the Toronto Raptors. All right, last story. All right, from the Toronto, obviously, active TO is closing down some streets again. I think this will be all summer long, every weekend. All right, starting from Saturday at 6 a.m. until Sunday at 11 p.m. The Lakeshore West from Windermere to Stadium Road. Lakeshore East by Leslie all the way to Woodbine. And then Bayview all the way in the north from Rosedale all the way south to Front Street will be closed. So get out there, enjoy the open roads. You can run, walk, rollerblade, skateboard, do whatever you want on these open roads. It's for all the Toronto citizens to get more active. So that's why they close down these roads. All right, we're going to wrap it up. So if you guys are going through a hard time right now, please consider going to Kids Help Phone. If you are a youth, you can go to the website, text, phone, or live chat them. All right, so that's Kids Help Phone. And then we have another one that is not age specific, so adults can take advantage of this one, Wellness Together Canada. So you can Google Wellness Together Canada. They're brought to you by Kids Help Phone. So you can also believe you can text them, but just Google Wellness Together Canada. All right. And of course, consider donating to MJKO if you have some disposable income. That'll be all for today. I am your host, Jimmy, and we are signing off. Hopefully everyone enjoyed Feel Good Friday, and we'll see you guys next time, all right? So take care and be safe.